Welcome to the 24th episode of the Journey for Greatness podcast. That felt good to do. It's been a while since I was able to actually do that because we're usually doing the podcast. Well, I'm usually at the apartment and the girl downstairs doesn't take very kindly to when we're loud. She'll start calling or texting the landlord. Basically wants to take us out of there. So Tom's been taking the reins at that. But I'm in the car right now heading home from Toastmasters. And we figured, why not give it to me for now. And today we don't have a guest. We don't have a guest. It's just two amigos talking amongst each other. That's it. We haven't done this in a while. Lately we've had guests on, but we figured me and Tom, we've gone through some stuff. I really want to talk more about what Tom's been through because I think it's something that we all go through at one point or another when we do something, whether it's sports or work, basically just getting burnt out, not giving enough time to ourselves. Me and Tom I think we called it me time. Is that not correct, Tom?
Yeah, I think we called it me time and just taking a breather. Yeah, I think we did call it me time.
This is crazy, but I find myself going too hard in the gym. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Not that I'm going too hard in the gym. It's that I overtrain at least twice a year. I don't know if it's I don't sleep enough. I don't eat good. I don't know what it is, but at least twice a year, I overtrain. And I know I've done it so much now that I know when I wake up, I know right away that I've overtrained because my heart is pumping out of my friggin' chest. I feel like I'm sick. So just whether it's overtraining, whether it's overworking at work, whether it's overdoing anything, we go through this all the time. I think it's just a great topic to talk about. Tom, why don't you just start us off here with what happened, your thoughts, and then we'll kind of dive into what
absolutely love to because it's an extremely important topic because I think it's very person driven, right? I think each person has their own cadence, their own rhythm. You know, what works for them, what works for you, Eric, doesn't work for me. What works for Gary Vaynerchuk doesn't work for me. So I think you have to experiment with your body. Yeah, awareness. What works for you as a human being? And I think a lot of times we see somebody do something, and they're at a level of success, and we think we have to exactly duplicate that.
100%.
But in reality,
yes.
Yeah, 100. In reality, what was it? I can't remember exactly when I started working, but I was bartending. I was working at the juice bar. I had what was it called? Digital marketing. I was talking to you about that with my buddy that I grew up with in Rochester. And then obviously trying to do the podcast. So I had like 4 or 5 things that were going on. And I remember you and I had the conversation where I was driving from the juice bar to the bar and I was like, Diddy, man, I literally have a 15, 20-minute drive, from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. that I'm not working. So it was like, 14 hours, and I had literally my drive from the juice bar to the bar. And now, granted, at the bar, I wasn't working hard every single minute, so it was a calmer atmosphere. But it was just the reality that I was at work, couldn't really do much else but try to be busy at work, whether it be vacuuming, cleaning, whatever the case was. So yeah, I mean, I got to a point I was doing that probably, and I didn't do it every single day. I mean, I would tell you that those would be on, maybe 3 or 4 days of the week. But in reality, man, I woke up one day and I was like, holy fuck, like I don't feel good. I don't feel like I'm energized, inspired. I don't feel creative. I wasn't posting on Instagram. I wasn't doing videos. I really fucking hit a wall, brother, and I think you and I talked about it one time, and I was just I felt like shit. And you're like, dude, listen, take 4 or 5 days, you know, just kind of chill the fuck out, take a breather, take some time for you. And man, I'm telling you, that re-energized me. That, you know, and I haven't been
Well, it's almost
posting. Yeah, go for it.
you saying that. And I don't know if I thought about this or not. When you just said take 3 or 4 days, get away, it's almost like meditation. It's almost like you legitimately did your own form of meditation. Because we talked about, I remember trying to find yourself. You need to do more stuff. It's just like you basically did your own form of meditation for yourself, to find yourself.
And, you know, that could be a 5-minute meditation, but that was a little bit lengthier. And I think a lot of times taking that time away just gives you a clear indication of where you are going wrong. So for me, you know, I told you about this, you know, yoga, being active, that's a big, I need to make that a rule in my life that every single day I'm doing something, whether that be yoga, you know, working out, like we talked about, hockey, whatever the case is, I need to do something every single day, and I need to not compromise from that because that makes me feel better. You know, and it doesn't have to be a hard charge to work on every single day, but just doing something. And then obviously diet. I mean, you touched on that. You change your diet and you felt like shit. You know, I'm like a yo-yo. Like I go have a great breakfast and then I'll have something shitty for lunch. And I go back and forth. And so I really need to start making those rules that I don't compromise on it, and therefore will make me feel better in the long run, which I can show up better to my relationships, to our business opportunity, and I can show up a maximized Tom Pizzo and not like a 75% or a 65% Tom Pizzo. So that's really what I've been working through, and I feel good, but we also have to give ourselves a break, right? I think a lot of times we're so fucking hard charging, we want to be the best individuals that we lose sight of the me time. We lose sight of those days that matter when you need to take a step back. And I think that's where I was at. And I appreciate you saying, hey man, it's all good. Just take the time and do your thing and come back energized. So definitely appreciate that from you.
Yeah, and I think you can think about an athlete. So let's put in perspective a hockey player. A hockey player is working. A hockey player is grinding. They start in September for training camp. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and if you're lucky enough, May, and you end in June. So then you have half of June, all of July, and then August. So it's 2.5 months. You're off. If, let's say we made it to the championship, right? We had a 6th season. We made it to the finals. We won the cup.
Yeah.
You have 2.5 weeks off. So there's professional athletes. They have months to take off from their craft. Granted, they're not taking it fully off, but they're depressed. They're compressing from it. They're depressing from it. I don't even know the words to use right now. I can't think about it. They're basically. What's that?
Decompressing, like getting away from it.
Yes. They're lifting though, and maybe they're skating a few weeks into their break, not right away. I remember this is how I used to go about doing it in college. I used to take the first few weeks off and not do anything, and even the first week, nothing. And then I would start lifting, and then I'd get in the groove of skating.
Yeah.
And I went back into it. That 2.5 months is basically like your 4 or 5 day breaks. Everybody. We talked about it. Everybody probably needs at least 1, maybe 2 breaks a year.
Yeah.
You gotta.
And
the body needs it.
Right? Like you may need to go hard for, you know, and this goes back to even when I was at that New York Life thing. I mean, they would talk about going hard for 12 weeks and then, you know, taking like a week off. I think it's like 12 weeks times what 3. 12 weeks times 3, 12 weeks times 4. Yeah, so they would do like 12 weeks hard, and then you take a week off, and then go back at it again. So, I mean, they would give us like a book, and there was like a whole methodology behind like going really hard for 12 weeks and then taking time off. So, I mean, it might be different for you. You may need 4 times in a year that you might need to take a 2 or 3 day little bit of a breather. And so it just, once again, I'm all about, I think you've noticed it, like I'm feeling like experimentation, trying to make yourself more aware by trying different things. And if one thing doesn't work for you, it's like a scientific method. Just keep trying different things, whether it's 30 days, you go hard like I did, you're working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, this ain't working. And you adjust. And that's, that's the way I'm looking at it these days.
No, I like it. Definitely. Without a doubt. I want you to think about it like this, though. You didn't take time off, really. Because now you found out, okay, this is the amount of time it's going to take me to bounce back. This is what I need to do. So in essence, you worked on the rest. You worked on what you need to do.
That's why I think we need to change that, right? We need to change the perspective of those days that we may think, oh, fuck, we're not really doing anything to advance ourselves. But in reality, you are doing a lot to advance yourself because you're giving yourself that breather. Maybe you're going to more yoga classes. Maybe you're going to, things that, like you were talking about, other activities that you don't necessarily think they're helping you, but they're helping you come back 90 to 100% more effective rather than just coming back like half-ass. And so I think that's a huge thing, changing your perspective on a rest day and thinking that's actually giving you a lot of help rather than just saying, I'm a pussy or I'm not being productive because I'm taking time away. So is that kind of what you were thinking?
100%. And that correlates back to you're not a little bitch, you're not a little pussy if you take a 20-minute nap every day. A lot of people are like, oh, you nap, bitch. You nap? It's not a good nap, pussy. It's like, all right, you want to call me a bitch or pussy for napping? And I'm a bitch. I'm a little whatever. I don't care. Call me that. Because that's what works for me. That's what works for me. I mean, I'm up at 4:20 in the morning. The latest I wake up is 5:20 in the morning. I need a nap. So I try and break that up. Right around 12:30, 1 o'clock, I take a 20, 25-minute nap. I wake up. I don't need to go to Dunkin' Donuts for another coffee. I don't need a heart attack because I drink too much coffee. It's just, I see so many people, it's like, oh, I'm tired. All right, going to Dunkin', going to Starbucks. It's just so funny to listen to people talk. I'm tired. All right, I'm going to go to Dunkin', I'll be right back. I'm going to go to Starbucks. Because they need that caffeine. How about you just think about your health for a sec? Instead of slurping down more caffeine, why don't you just take a nap? So thinking, I would almost say, this just came to my head, but working smarter. But not just working, taking care of yourself smarter. And I want to go back to something you said at the beginning for a sec. You said diet. Remember I said, all right, I'm listening to Gary Vee, and he's like, you got to eat shit for, I don't know how many months. It ended up to, I think, 4 or 5 years. Basically talking about you need to legitimately eat shit and save money. I tried it. I bought 3 loaves of bread. I bought 2 things of peanut butter and some eggs. That was it. I tried it for a week. I couldn't do it. And if that makes me a bitch, then that means I'm a bitch. I care about my health. My thought process is, if I take care of, just like you said, I experimented with it. It didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I'm not going to do it. I tried it. I tasted it. I checked it. I X'd it out. My thought process is, if I eat right, if I take care of myself, if I get to sleep, I'll work better. I'll work longer. Not to say we ain't going to grind our asses off every day and do what we got to do to become successful, but we got to be smarter about this game. I feel like it's just like this. You may have some guys out there that are fast as shit. For example, let's say hockey, right? some guys out there so fast, but they're just skating around out there with their heads cut off. But then you've got the great one, Gretzky, who's out there. He's slow as hell, but he's unreal because he's so smart at how he plays. You got to be smart at your game. You got to be smart at what you do. Some people are just like, oh, I got to grind. Okay, boom. I'm going to get, and I'm not going to lie, it's just my thought process. Oh, I'm going to get 3-4 hours of sleep. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to grind my ass off. And I'm going to go to bed. You could do that for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You're going to crash, though. It's going to happen. You're going to crash. So you got to work smart.
I love it, man. I really do. I think if you take that time and you give yourself a breather, you're going to come back and find yourself more productive. And I think for me, my mental, I don't know, clarity and I feel better. And I think that's what people underestimate. I'm not saying that in 10 years Gary Vee's going to hit the wall, but you never know. I mean, he's came off of his, and I give people credit. They may work 8 or 9 to 5 and then do a side hustle from 6 p.m., 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. And I think I told you about this. That don't work for me. If I go to bed at 2 and wake up at 5 or 6 or 7 and go back to work on a 4 or 5 hour sleep, and I do that consistently, I'm fucked. I just can't do it. And I've tried it. I don't have any energy. I'm reaching for coffee. I'm trying to make it through, and that doesn't work for me. So I have to figure out a different way to accomplish my personal goals and dreams rather than that recipe. And it's all that there's not one way to do something.
Yeah. You need to look at it like this, too. Every single Saturday. I did it last night. I do it every Saturday night. I take 2 hours out of my Saturday. I go out to eat with my dad, whoever else wants to come out with us. Yeah. I can look back on those memories when he's dead, and I can cherish the stuff we talked about, the places we went, the things we ate, all that. You need to, if it's important to you, like obviously I know family's important to you, family's tremendously important to me, you'll make time for it. You'll figure it out. You will do it. There's not that many things in my life that I consider hugely important. I do have things in my life that are very important, people in my life that are very important. You have to make time to impact their lives. You have to make time to see them, to talk to them, to get in their inner circle, to basically be able to create memories with them for when it's all done, when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Gary Vee talked about regret. You don't want to, I know I would, just because I've already been through it with my younger brother. I'm not going to lie. Sit here and lie to you. When he died, one of the first things in my head was, fuck, he invited me to come up and hang out with him 1 week. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I got to work. I could have been like, well, maybe I'll come up later tonight after work.
Yeah.
And now I think about that. I do. I think about the times I could have spent with him. Right? I think about missed opportunities.
I feel like I do it all the time. You have those little micro decisions that you're like, yeah, can you really do it? Yeah, you probably can, but you just, in that moment, you don't feel like you want to do it. So I can relate to that. I've done that a bunch.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with, let's say, I haven't seen someone in 6-7 months, years. They got a hold of me. They want to hang out. They're not a huge influence. Really haven't or didn't make a big connection with them. I have a pretty easy time saying, sorry, I can't. I got things to do. When somebody asked me...
Did you end up seeing Kashuka?
I didn't. No.
No, I didn't know. I know you were talking about it, but didn't know if you saw it or not.
I legitimately went home and just passed out. I went home that night, and I was like, all right, I'll take a nap, and then I'm going to head in town because he was at the Sox game. I passed out and woke up the next morning. I'm like, shit. I had text from him on my phone, too, like, where are you, kid? We're at the restaurant. Where are you? You coming? So, I mean,
I've had the same thing, too, but it's just people want to understand that shit happens.
No, I
You
know.
know, and I think a good friend, a good person would just be like, you know what?
He'll
It is
understand.
what it is. Yeah. Just move on from it.
Yeah, and I think we can both agree, we won't go into detail, there is one person that kind of takes it cold-heartedly. Not cold-heartedly, but takes it a little personally sometimes, and he makes a bigger deal of it than it needs to be.
Well, yeah, and I think there's different, people have different, and it's funny, I was listening to a CD, Tony Robbins has what's it called? These different rules that everybody makes up, right? And you might have a rule in your head that if Jimmy doesn't come and see you if he's in town, you know, he fucked you over. Like, that's kind of that's a rule that he violated. Like, for me, when I was talking to you about, you know, when I was doing pick grooming and there was something that happened between my boss and I, and basically what happened was him and I had a man-to-man conversation, and he would always say, hey, if there's any problems or anything, come to me and we'll talk it out and things will be, you know, whatever, we'll figure it out. But him and I had a conversation. I brought up some things and we worked it out, right? Well, fast forward whatever time on the time was, I think it was probably a month or two, and we were in the van going somewhere to, I think it was Michigan, and him and I got into it, but, you know, just fucking back and forth, and him and I just weren't agreeing on something, and a guy in the van goes, hey, man, and so my boss and I had this conversation in a deli, and so this other guy that was in the van, like a month later, was like, hey, man, you better watch out. Tom's going to bring you back to the deli and have a conversation with you, and, you know, and kind of brought that up, but it wasn't my boss. It was the guy in the van. So that told me that my boss had basically violated a big rule of mine, which was basically if you tell me that our conversation is man-to-man and stays between you and I don't want that conversation talked about between you and Jimmy and Joe, regardless of what he said. That told me that he told another individual. So that to me is a big rule for me. Like, I need to trust you that I can talk to you and it's between you and I. So, you know, I think we have all these different rules, and so for some individuals, if you're in town or you don't make an effort to come see somebody or whatever, like, that could violate one of their rules that, hey, this guy he's not a true friend of mine because he's not making the effort to, or the person might just feel like, whatever, it is what it is. I'm moving on from it. It's not a big deal. So it depends on who it is.
You're right. And I'm going to go back to something I actually learned, and I highly suggest, it's only 130 pages. I'm probably going to finish it tonight, and we have 10 more pages to go. Love the book. Again, stuff that I read.
Which book was it?
It's called The 4 Agreements.
Oh, okay.
It's 4 agreements to live your life by. One of the things, I would definitely put that in this category, is don't take everything so personally.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And I'm going to kind of put it on what you said about your boss. You did make an agreement with your boss, and again, this is just what it means. Don't take everything so personally. You and your boss made an agreement. We talked about stuff, whatever you want to talk about. I won't say anything. You find out he said something. Don't take that so personally that he said something to somebody about what you guys said. Did he probably talk smack about you while he was telling them? You know, me and Tom had to talk about this, he said that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But in reality, so what? So what? He talked about it. Don't take it so personally. Don't because then, when you take it personally, you're going to beat yourself up over it. Your emotions are going to be flying. You're going to get, then all of a sudden, so your emotions are going to get angry.
Yeah.
You're going to get mad.
Actually, that was single-handedly one of the reasons why I left that job. So that really actually did fucking bang me up. But in reality, a year later, I found it in my heart to forgive forgive him or whatever happened. And that's what I told you. I went back in that race last week, and that was for my former boss. And but I had that internal dialogue with myself that, fuck him still, or do I just let it go? And so I had to have that internal conversation with myself, and I came to the conclusion that you came to, that was, hey, fucking let it go. It was a year ago, and whatever happened, happened, and I think everything's cool. Everything's good. So, I mean,
I'm a huge... No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, he used me in a race, and I had fun, and, it was what it was, so it was good.
I'm really trying to work on myself. One of the things that I really am trying to work on, and I feel like I've gotten a little better at it. I'm a big grudge holder. I am. I used to be so much worse than I am now, but I am. And
that's
just
a prime example.
So bad. Something would happen 3 or 4 months later, I see the person, it's like, legitimately, for no other reason, it's like, F you, because you did that 3 months ago. But now, it's like, really, dude? It's just, really? Is it that big of a deal? We'll go back to the subject of not giving a fuck. Do you really need to give that many fucks to that person? Do you really need to waste your energy when maybe your mother has cancer? You're wasting your fucks, you're wasting your energy on this person who did whatever a few months ago, and it's not really affecting you right now, but you're letting it. You are letting it affect you when it shouldn't be affecting you at all. We beat ourselves up. You want to know something? In the subtle art, I'm telling you, not in the subtle art, the 4 agreements. You have to read the 4 agreements. It's only 130.
Yeah.
I feel like you get a lot out of it. It's 100% true. You abuse yourself so much. You, nobody else, abuse yourself so much. It's not, and we're not talking physically. You don't punch yourself in the face. I'm talking mentally. Think about all of the you versus you battles, that the negative voice in your head that you always fight with.
Oh, yeah.
That negative voice of, stop, like, I should go talk to that girl. No, I shouldn't go talk to that girl, because if I do, then she may say no if I ask her out. And then I'll get embarrassed.
Every fucking time I'm at the store or wherever I see a girl, fucking...
You battle with you more than anybody. And I feel like a lot of people don't even realize this. I remember us talking once, and one thing you said was, and I love this. I've been thinking about it. I'm preparing a speech for Toastmasters next week. The negative voice in your head. And every time I work on the speech, I always say, you're already painting that picture in your head. You're already writing the end of that book. You're already directing the end of that movie, but you haven't even got in the environment yet. So, like, if you can see the future, then tell me, what do I look like in 10 years? Because I want to know. Do I have kids? Like, where am I? If you're, because you're telling me right now that you can legitimately see into the future. You know what's going to happen when you ask that girl out. You know what's going to happen when you get up in front and talk to your colleagues. You know what's going to happen when you do all these things. What do I look like in 10 years time? You should be able to tell me that. You just beat ourselves up in our head all the time. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But we do with emotions.
Real quick, Patriots just scored 30-30. Just to give you a heads up on that.
30-30? Wait a minute. Oh, they got a field goal? They had 16.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they got 30, but...
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
30,
I'm sorry. 16. They're probably going to kick a field goal to go ahead then, right?
They might. Yeah, they might have, yeah. They just showed the touchdown, so there might be, might be 31-30.
To try and catch the end of that there. I always catch the exciting parts of the game. It's the end. I got the...
My Bills are in a slugger here, so we'll see how it ends up.
What's the score of that?
23-17, and the Atlanta Falcons have the ball with 2:57 left. But it's 3rd and 4 right now, so hopefully I can get a big stand.
They're winning?
Yeah. Ooh. All right, 4th down and 4. All right. I don't mean to interrupt football, but I like the Bills. You like the Pats. So you guys got to know.
No, you gotta. Yeah, you're my update. I like it. I mean, I don't even have to go to my phone then. You're my update. Nice.
But no, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think it's important. I think to have the ability to give yourself, just a little bit of a breather, and I think when you make that shift, you realize you have control of that. Like you can make that split-second decision to not beat yourself up or take yourself too seriously, and that's just the reality of it.
I agree. Definitely. I think it's very good for the mind to take a break. It's very good, even if it's just for a day or two. As you said, decompress. I know my mind's always racing. I'm always thinking. It's just all of a sudden, boom, I get on my phone and just record. I just legitimately voice record everything. I'm going to go back and listen to them, maybe do something with them or not. I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing to sometimes just get away and not think at all. I think it definitely has to do with maybe where you live, whatnot, and then the perfect room where you just go, and you never really just sit back for a second. Boom. Take a deep breath, buddy.
I told you I got everybody. I got a flip phone. I told Diddy, I got this flip phone, and I'm finding that I almost feel like there are certain things that I do to give myself more time to myself, and I think a lot of times we do spend a lot of time on our phones, and I mean, everybody has their own opinion. I mean, obviously, we connect with, there's a ton of positive things that having the type of phones that we have are able to, so I'm not trying to think negatively on anything, because I agree that I should have a high technology piece of, device in my hand, but on the same token, as we try to figure out how to get more time or where to hack more time, I think, I just look at something like this where I use a phone that is just a little bit more basic, and it's another experiment. I'm going to try it and see how it goes. But it's a funny story. I told you this morning, I left my phone at home, like my good phone, and I got lost this morning because I didn't know where the fuck to go. So it's funny how you take things for granted and you don't realize that you use GPS as much as you do until you actually don't have it with you. So I was like, fuck, can I just fucking ask somebody at the gas station? Like, what do? It was fun.
Sorry, guys, the technical difficulty. My new apartment probably has the worst internet/Wi-Fi in America. So we got cut off. I think the big picture, and Tom, I want you to chime in if you can add or maybe feel like I'm going the wrong direction. We're trying to basically say our overall message is do what works for you. Some people may say, yeah, I work 20-hour days and let me get days rest, and they haven't broken down. That's fun. It's kind of like, think about this. You look at different cars. You got Honda, you get Chevrolet, like GMC, you have BMW, you have Toyota. They all have different models. They all have different thought processes on how to make the car and how it's best. That's exactly what you are. You're a different brand. You're a different person than somebody else. So try the things that you see are successful for people, but don't be surprised if it doesn't work for you, because you are different than them. A great example is me and Tom love Gary Vee, and he always says, I don't follow, I don't consume other people's content, I just do what I do. And I can't do that. Me personally, when I read, my brain's racing. My brain's racing and I'm thinking. So when I consume content, that's when I'm best. when I am not listening to podcasts, when I am not reading, I am not at my best. So I try to read and listen to podcasts all the time. How much rest do you need? How long does your work day need to be for you to be effective? The overall basic message here is do what's best for you. Do what works for you. I think that's what we're trying to get at.
I love
Am I
it.
correct
I
there?
think that's exactly what it is. That's it. And I don't have anything to add. Cause
Okay, well, let's...
as I get older, I realize that it's what it's about, man. And I know we kind of regurgitate a lot of things from Gary Vee, but man, it really is. You need to find what you're comfortable with. Not only that, but just do not care if somebody else is trying to tell you that you need to do something different, if that's against the grain of what you feel. If you want to go to bed at 8 o'clock, go to fucking bed at 8 o'clock. If you want to, wake up at 10 a.m., yeah, maybe you're not going to be as successful, but if you're putting in the effort from 10 a.m. to whatever amount of time, and that's your recipe for success, then, and it works for you, then that's great. But I think with what you were saying, there still is a common thread that you need to put, a significant amount of work in order to be successful. So I don't think anybody's arguing that. I think you can't just sit on your couch or sleep all the time and think you're going to magically be successful. I mean, I think we both agree on that part of it. It's just the finer details that, you can decipher for yourself what works best. So that's all I would add, which is not much, but...
Awesome. Okay, I think we'll get into that last segment here of Grinder of the Week.
Yeah, fucking Grinder of the Week. I hope you have a good one, because I haven't even been thinking about my Grinder of the Week.
Have one?
No, you go for it. I don't even know if I'm going to have one for this week, other than just myself.
That's great, because honestly, my Grinder of the Week too. And I had that.
You're breaking up, dude. Go outside or something.
Because you grinded mentally the past few days to try and find yourself. I almost feel like that's harder to do than to actually physically go out and do work. So mentally find yourself, mentally find work, to mentally find what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm looking for a specific word. Not a system, but a routine that you can do that's going to work. It takes a lot of testing. It takes a lot of tasting to find out. So, and we talked about it on this cast. Even though you weren't grinding, working, you were grinding for yourself. You were grinding on yourself. Not like dancing, but you were grinding.
No, but in reality, dude, it's an ever... I mean, I've had many of these opportunities where I've got a chance to just relax, and not do certain things and go do yoga more and do things that give you a sense of who you are and what it is that you stand for, and realigning your values, right? Like realigning what you stand for, and maybe lose sight of that occasionally. And I think, there's no better time than a hardship or an adverse time in your life to really take a breather and gather what it is that you're all about. And I think we really hit a nail on the head the other night when I was talking about my why and what's driving me and really what do I want to do and all this stuff. And simple things that we came up with was literally the fact that I can't work for other individuals. Like that is becoming my driving force. Like Jimmy telling me, okay, you need to vacuum the floor now. Or, Susie saying, hey, all right, time to clean the cooler out. I just can't fucking do it, man. And I think that's becoming my driving force to really try to make my own living and try to be my own boss. And
Man,
and then the other thing is obviously my family, and I think we talked about that, trying to, and it's not even proving them wrong. It's not even trying to show them that, hey, I'm not a failure. I can pay all my bills. I can really be a successful human being. But it's just making sure that I take care of them, too, when it comes time for them to take care of, or for me to take care of them.
And it's funny how you found it, right? You probably think, oh, I'm going to find my why by working my ass off. You legitimately found your why by not physically working your ass off and not working a ton, but decompressing and letting your mind think. It's funny how shit works sometimes, eh?
Yeah, I love it.
That's how you found it, by relaxing, by taking time for yourself, by working on yourself. That's just life. So, but yeah, I think this is a great one. No guest. We'll have a guest on next week. I think we needed to
just
talk about this
just
because
fucking one-on-one.
Yeah, it was I feel like it was definitely, and I know we've talked about it on the Instagram and stuff. I think a podcast was going to definitely do us, I guess you could almost say, justice to talk about it, because it's definitely something we'll look back on and revert back to numerous times. So it was good.
Absolutely. So, well,
all right, my man.
It was a good call. Good
yeah.
fun conversation, and we'll have a good birthday celebration with old Anthony
Antoine Fisher. I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go catch the end of this game here. Hopefully my boys can come.
I know.
Go ahead.
Tied up. My Billies won, baby. Huge win in Atlanta.
There you go. That's a big win.
Right.
They're a great team.
They beat Denver and Atlanta, so pretty big wins there.
Back to back. They're probably patting themselves in the back that they fired Rex.
I know.
All right, man.
So,
you take care. Have a great rest
going?
of the day. And I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.